video is part of the Recreation Inspiration Open Challenge. More about that later on in the video. Project number 1, MINIS desktop shelf. This is a fun alternative to a tier tray. And I'm going to do mine just a little bit smaller than Melissa did hers. And I'm going to change the direction of the top crate to horizontal instead of vertical. So there I am deciding on it. I didn't want it to be totally like a tree like hers was, because I want mine to go from Christmas to beyond. So here I'm realizing my hot glue isn't working, and I usually do like a hot glue wood glue mix to get wood like this together. So I'm thinking fast, and I decide to go ahead and use the wood glue like normal, but instead of hot glue I used the crazy glue. And that small little tube did like all these crates, and it was a lot, and I didn't skimp on it, and I still managed to have enough. 3, 4, 5, so I got 6 crates together plus the top and bottoms. And of course, if you've seen my other videos, I like to apply my wood paint from a container with a paintbrush. I just find I can get it everywhere I want. And see, I'm showing you again. Wood glue and crazy glue. And I did that for every single crate. So 3 at the bottom, 2 in the middle, and 1 at the top. And then I just used these laundry clips to clip everything together for a couple hours. And I went and watched some football. So if you were doing this at home, just leave it for a couple hours for the glue to set. Once those few hours were up, I came in and decided to reinforce the back with some paint sticks and the jumbo popsicle sticks. Now I'm going to paint most of the crate, sides, top, insides. I don't need to paint the bottoms because that's where the wallpaper is going to go. And like Melissa said, paint it after you put it together because you'll have less to paint. And I gotta admit, it was really tricky painting on the inside there. I was like sort of jamming the paintbrush in the corners. And it's not perfect, but hey, I can say it's rustic style, right? So I'm just gonna get an approximate measurement for the crates, but I want it to be a little bit too big because I'm going to sand off the front of it. And then I love how it looks when you do that. It's like it was meant to be. So you'll see me cutting out some squares, and then here I am sanding in a downward motion, and I did that on all of them. And once I sand a little bit, the little piece just comes right off, and it's a perfect fit. And I believe that's just like a medium grit sandpaper. Okay, there we go. I'm just going to finish up on the outside edges because Melissa did her edges as well too. And I'll give you a closer look at this during the final reveal. Amanda is our fearless leader, and this month's guest host is Charlene from Crafty Art Shack. Basically, there's Amanda from 6 Kids and a Glue Gun. And here's our guest host, Charlene from Crafty Art Shack. Their channel links will be below in my description box, as well as a link to the playlist. This challenge is put on every month, and we just choose someone who inspires us and recreate some of their projects. I chose Melissa from All Things Crafty. She's pretty awesome. She's dedicated, she's talented, and I will include a link to her video that inspired me below in my description box. Project number 2, favorite numbers. So a lot of times we'll do the number of a holiday like 25 for Christmas or 14 for Valentine's Day, and we'll put it in a little frame and put it on a tier tray. So since this shelf is kind of like a tier tray, I decided to show you a Christmas version and an everyday version. So for Christmas, I'm doing the number 25, and for an everyday version, I'm doing my favorite number, number 7. So that was just some MDF that I trimmed using a utility knife. I measured the size of the frame it's not a frame, it's the backing of the frame. So it's got the stand and the backing, and I measured that on the MDF board. And the MDF board there, it's just something that I trimmed off a larger board. So I got 2 the size I wanted, and I did a lot of sanding, 2 coats of paint, and then I'm painting the numbers. Red for Christmas and pink for my favorite color. I used E6000 glue and hot glue. So I used a combination both on the numbers and on the backing to attach the backing to the MDF board. I did have to trim the stand on the back, and I'll give you a better look at the final reveal. Project 3 Mini Musical Snowflake. So I'm using a single wood snowflake that I purchased in a box of snowflakes last year on Amazon, and I'm painting it with white chalk paint. Next, I'm taking some old sheet music that I have, and I'm going to cut it to the size of a frame backing, like in the previous project. The frame backing has already been Mod Podged and is already dried. So I take the sheet music that I cut out and I place it on the backing, cover it with parchment paper, and then I heat up my Hippo heat press. And boy, does it heat up fast. I actually burned my thumb on it. But I just run the heat press over the parchment paper a few times, and nice wrinkle-free background for the snowflake. Then some school glue, clear school glue, and hot glue for the immediate and permanent. I trimmed the stand off the back of this. I wanted to be able to set it back into the shelf, and I just used some tumbling tower blocks glued together with some E6000. You could use wood glue or hot glue. This is just what I decided to use. And again, the 2 different glues for the immediate hold and the long-term hold. And that'll dry up in just a few seconds. And onto project number 4, Mini, a red truck. I purchased a few gift boxes. This is looks like it's a gift box for a gift card, and the red truck is raised, but the Christmas tree is not. So what I did was removed the truck and fussy cut the Christmas tree. I did not really have the right scissors for fussy cutting, but I may do. And I left it a little white because, you know, it could look like there's a little bit of snow on the tree as it's traveling home. I left a little bit of cardboard underneath the tree so I would have something to glue it onto the back of the truck. And then I used a piece of the lid of the box to attach the truck to, and that's what I attached the tumbling tower blocks to. So it's like on a road or something. And I just put the tumbling tower blocks next to each other for this one because of the width of it. Closer look at the final reveal. Onto project number 5. It's a mini tree tag. And this is just almost the same size, but it's a square gift box again from Dollar Tree. And that was this year. I cut the cardboard this time to give it some stability and some thickness. And then I'm using some red and white baker's twine to make a finger bow, and I just used 3 fingers to do that. Tied it in the middle and left 2 tails. Trim the tails, and I'm just using the clear school glue again. You do have to hold on to that for a while because it actually fell off a couple times before I realized I need to just press it down. Again, tumbling tower blocks, just 1 this time. And on to project number 6, mini heart stickers. And yes, beyond Christmas is Valentine's Day, so Christmas and beyond. I'm using a utility knife this time to cut the box to shape. This is box leftover from the previous project. Once I have the size I want, I'm just using these heart stickers. I believe I purchased from Dollar Tree last year. There's like 2 different shapes and sizes. One is pink sparkles and one is just plain wood. And this time I'm using some pink and white twine to make a very small finger bow. Glue that on the pink one, and then just regular colored twine for the wood colored heart, and this time just a shoelace bow. And I put the bow down into the heart so you can actually see the shape of the heart without the bow hiding it. Better look at the final reveal. Onto project number 7, mini, which is a pretty pink flower. These are wall stickers that I've had for a really long time and just haven't figured out how to use them. I was using this insert from one of the boxes, but it was kind of flimsy, so I grabbed some chewy and played around with what part of the sticker I wanted on this backing. Once I decided, I used the utility knife to get an approximate shape and then use the scissors to trim it. The backing was actually red and it looked pretty with the pink, so I didn't bother doing any painting. I used the pink and white twine on this one. After putting a tumbling tower block on the back, the twine I just wrapped around, no bow, just to sort of separate the bottom part of it from the actual flower part. And 12 hours later, this is my tray of minis,